Most people believe wealth grows in a straight line over time. Earn more, save more, repeat the same routine. It sounds simple, safe, and predictable, but real money never works that way. Money doesn't just change your bank account. It slowly reshapes how you think and react. Before it changes your lifestyle, it rewires your decisions. That shift is what most people never notice. Pepe learned this lesson faster than most, not from luxury or success stories, but from reaching his first $20,000 saved. That number changed how everything felt. $20,000 didn't make Pepe rich overnight. It didn't buy status or luxury items. What it bought was psychological safety, and that changed everything. $20,000 didn't make Pepe rich overnight. It didn't buy status or luxury items. What it bought was psychological safety, and that changed everything. Bills stopped triggering anxiety. Emergencies stopped feeling like disasters. Problems became solvable instead of overwhelming. Money finally felt like support, not pressure. With a small buffer, Pepe stopped reacting emotionally. Decisions slowed down and became deliberate. He no longer rushed to fix every discomfort with spending. That pause created clarity. Clarity exposed patterns Pepe couldn't see before. Impulse spending wasn't about need. It was about stress, boredom, and validation. Money revealed habits, not solutions. Pepe realized most people don't overspend because they're reckless. They overspend because they're tired. Tired of pressure, comparison, and insecurity. Spending feels like relief, but relief is temporary. The bill always arrives later. Peace purchased with money expires fast. Real peace had to be built differently. With $20,000 saved, Pepe stopped chasing comfort. He started chasing stability. Stability didn't look exciting, but it felt powerful. He built rules instead of relying on willpower. Automatic transfers replaced motivation. Systems replaced emotion. Consistency replaced discipline. This is where most people quit. Progress feels invisible at this stage. No applause, no milestones, no dopamine. Only quiet repetition. But repetition is how momentum is born. Not fast, not dramatic. Slow enough to ignore, strong enough to last. Pepe stopped talking about money. He stopped explaining his choices. Silence protected his progress. Privacy became leverage. As savings grew, fear shrank, not because risk disappeared, but because preparation increased. Fear hates preparation. Pepe began thinking in years instead of weeks. Short-term losses stopped hurting as much. The future stopped feeling abstract. It felt planned. This is where the mindset truly shifts. Money stops being emotional. It becomes structural. A tool, not a trigger. Pepe didn't feel rich. He felt unshakable. That feeling mattered more. It couldn't be bought quickly. This is why the first $20,000 matters so much. Not for lifestyle, not for status, but for control. With control came patience. Pepe stopped checking balances daily. He trusted the system he built. Time became his ally. Patience changed how risk felt. Volatility no longer caused panic. Fluctuations became normal. Emotion slowly exited the equation. Pepe noticed something unexpected. His confidence wasn't loud. It was quiet and internal. No one else needed to see it. Friends chased upgrades. Pepe chased durability. They optimized for appearance. He optimized for survival. At $20,000, emergencies lost their power. Problems became inconveniences. Choices expanded quietly. Stress lost its sharp edge. This wasn't wealth. It was insulation, a layer between Pepe and chaos. Thin, but life-changing. With insulation came better decisions. He said no more often, not out of fear, out of clarity. Pepe stopped chasing every opportunity. He waited for alignment. If it wasn't obvious, it was ignored. Energy became selective. This is when compounding truly begins. Not just in money, but in habits, confidence, and judgment. Small advantages stacked daily. Pepe understood a hard truth. Speed feels good but breaks easily. Slow feels boring but survives storms. He chose slow. As time passed, savings turned into strategy. Strategy turned into direction. Direction turned into confidence. Confidence reduced noise. Pepe no longer feared missing out. He feared being distracted. Focus became the rarest asset. He guarded it fiercely. Life didn't suddenly become perfect, but it became predictable, and predictability created peace. Peace allowed growth. Most people never reach this phase. They escape discomfort too early. They trade stability for stimulation and reset the cycle. Pepe stayed. He tolerated boredom. He trusted the math, and boredom rewarded him. This foundation made the next levels possible. Without it, growth collapses. With it, momentum accelerates. Everything ahead depended on this stage. The first milestone wasn't exciting, but it was irreversible. Once crossed, thinking never returned. Pepe had changed. This is why $20,000 matters. It rewires behavior. It reshapes priorities. It prepares you for real money. Without this stage, bigger numbers break people. Money amplifies who you already are. Weak foundations crack under pressure. Strong ones scale. Pepe was ready for the next phase. Not emotionally, structurally. That made all the difference. At $50,000, the rules changed again. Pepe didn't feel rich. He felt stable, and stability unlocked long-term thinking. Decisions stopped being urgent. There was time to think. Time reduced mistakes. Mistakes became lessons instead of disasters. Pepe noticed patience compounding faster than money. He waited instead of reacting. He observed instead of jumping. Calm became his advantage. Expenses felt smaller relative to reserves. A broken phone wasn't a crisis. A slow month wasn't a threat. Life became smoother. Pepe stopped fantasizing about quick wins. Shortcuts lost their appeal. Consistency became exciting. Boring started to feel powerful. This is where most people drift off track. They feel safe enough to gamble. Comfort lowers discipline. Pepe stayed alert. He understood risk wasn't gone. It was just quieter. Quiet risks are the most dangerous. They feel invisible. At $100,000, money gained gravity. It pulled future gains toward itself. Compounding became noticeable. Momentum finally showed up. Pepe felt progress without effort. Returns arrived quietly. No celebration, just confirmation. Confidence grew, but ego stayed contained. He remembered the early fear. That memory kept him grounded. Humility protected momentum. Others noticed change before Pepe did. His tone was calmer. His reactions slower. Money had softened him. This stage wasn't flashy. No luxury. No announcements. Just quiet accumulation. Pepe learned restraint beats intelligence. Smart ideas come and go. Discipline compounds forever. That truth settled in. At this point, money stopped feeling exciting. It started feeling useful. Useful beats exciting every time. That's how wealth survives. Pepe didn't upgrade his lifestyle. He upgraded his margin of error. That choice mattered more. Flexibility is real luxury. Then came the quiet pressure, the urge to accelerate, to do more, to push harder. Pepe resisted that urge. He knew speed kills compounding. Consistency feeds it. He chose consistency. This restraint set the stage for $250,000. Most never make it here, not because of math, but because of psychology. Pepe was about to enter the danger zone, where money feels powerful, but still fragile, the most deceptive phase. This is where wealth is made or destroyed, not by markets, not by income, but by behavior. Crossing $250,000 didn't feel explosive. There were no fireworks or sudden joy. Instead, it felt quietly heavy, like responsibility settling in. Money now moved faster than Pepe worked. One good day could beat a week's salary. One good month could beat a year of saving. That realization was dangerous. The illusion of arrival crept in quietly. Pepe started feeling ahead, comfortable, almost finished. That feeling whispered tempting lies. You've made it. You can relax now. This is enough. But wealth doesn't die from losses first. It dies from comfort, from lowered standards, from quiet permission to slip. Pepe noticed spending felt easier now. Numbers felt smaller relative to totals. A $5,000 decision felt light. That scared him. This is where people make small mistakes. Mistakes that compound negatively. Mistakes that don't hurt immediately, but hurt forever. Pepe understood one harsh truth. At $250,000, mistakes cost years. Not days, not months. A 10% loss wasn't just a dip. It was $25,000 erased. Future growth erased too. Time erased. This is where fear flips direction. Early fear is about survival. This fear is about preservation, a different kind of pressure. Pepe resisted reacting emotionally. No panic selling, no reckless buying. Stillness became strategy. Then came the overconfidence trap. Success started feeling earned by skill. Luck faded from memory. Ego stepped closer. Pepe saw others fall here. Index investors turning into gamblers. Discipline replaced by excitement. Accounts bleeding quietly. The phrase "I can afford to lose this" appeared. It sounded harmless. It never was. It erased futures. Pepe remembered his rule. Affording loss isn't surviving loss. Those are not the same. Never confuse them. He stayed boring on purpose. Same strategy, same patience, same restraint. While others chased acceleration, Pepe waited. Waiting felt uncomfortable, but safe, and safety compounds. This patience unlocked the next shift. Not financial, psychological, freedom of choice. Pepe wasn't trapped by paychecks anymore. He could say no, he could wait. That power was invisible. This is the hidden power of $250,000. Not luxury, not status, options. At $250,000, every decision starts echoing further into the future. Small choices now create long shadows. What used to be harmless mistakes become expensive delays. Time amplifies everything. Pepe realized wealth wasn't growing linearly anymore. It was bending, accelerating, compounding beneath the surface. The curve was finally turning in his favor. Interfering now would be self-sabotage. This is where boredom becomes a competitive advantage. While others chase excitement, boredom protects momentum. Quiet consistency beats loud intelligence. Always has. Pepe stopped checking his portfolio daily. Daily movement created emotional noise. Noise leads to reaction. Reaction destroys compounding. Instead, he focused on inputs, not outcomes. Savings rate, consistency, time in the market. This is where most people lose patience. They feel close, yet still far. Rich, yet not free. That tension breaks discipline. Pepe understood the paradox of this stage. The closer you get, the harder waiting feels. Progress becomes invisible but massive. That's where faith replaces motivation. Compounding doesn't reward urgency. It rewards endurance. It ignores emotion completely, and it punishes impatience brutally. Pepe saw others try to optimize here, switching strategies, chasing higher returns, resetting their progress. He chose something harder than action: restraint, the discipline to do nothing, the courage to stay boring. At this level, protection matters more than growth. Avoiding big mistakes beats chasing big wins. Losses compound faster than gains. Always. Pepe reframed success completely. Not how fast he could grow, but how long he could last. Longevity became the goal. This is how real wealth is built. Quietly, slowly, without applause. Most people quit here mentally, not financially. They stop believing before they stop investing. And belief is the real fuel. Pepe didn't feel rich yet, but he felt unbreakable. That mattered more, much more. At this stage, wealth stops feeling like a destination and starts feeling like a responsibility. Every dollar now represents years of discipline stacked on top of each other. Losing money no longer hurts just financially, it hurts psychologically. That awareness changes how you move. Pepe noticed his decisions slowing down, not because of fear, but because of clarity. He no longer reacted to headlines, trends, or sudden market excitement. Speed used to feel powerful. Now patience felt unstoppable. This is where identity quietly shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to build wealth. You start seeing yourself as someone who protects it. That identity is much harder to break. Most people think wealth grows by bold moves at this level. In reality, it grows through avoiding unnecessary damage. Nothing flashy, nothing heroic, just fewer mistakes over a long period of time. Pepe realized risk hadn't disappeared. It had simply changed form. The biggest risk was no longer market volatility. It was ego, and ego is expensive. Ego whispers that you're smarter than average, that you see patterns others don't, that you deserve faster results now. Those whispers ruin portfolios. Pepe learned that confidence and arrogance look identical from the outside. The difference only shows up over time. Confidence survives boredom. Arrogance demands excitement. At $250,000, boredom becomes proof that the system is working. Nothing dramatic means nothing is broken. Silence becomes reassurance. Stillness becomes strength. Most people mistake movement for progress. They change strategies just to feel productive. But progress doesn't need constant adjustment. It needs time. Pepe stopped talking about money with people who measured success emotionally, not out of arrogance, out of protection. Some conversations cost too much. Comparison lost its grip slowly, then all at once. Other people's numbers stopped meaning anything. Only trajectory mattered, direction over speed. This is where wealth starts compounding internally too. Less anxiety, more patience. Better decisions without force. Pepe noticed life felt wider now. Not richer, wider. More options, fewer traps. Space to breathe. This is the part no one celebrates publicly. There's no announcement, no applause, just quiet stability growing in the background. Pepe understood something most people never do. The goal was never to feel rich. The goal was to stop feeling fragile. And that goal was finally close.